Hey yo, what's good, folks? It's your boy reporting live from the 90s. And man, the late 90s were wild. Arcades were gritty sanctuaries packed with neon lights. Loose change and fierce competition were fading faster than hairlines at 30. Sega saw the writing on the wall and decided that they'd go out swinging. Enter the Sega Dreamcast, sleek, powerful, and unapologetically arcade. This little white box hit shelves determined to keep that raw arcade experience alive in your living room. No watered down ports, no compromises. Pure, uncut arcade greatness delivered straight to your crib. Today, we're running it back, revisiting Dreamcast games that embody the arcade spirit and refuse to let it die quietly. Legendary fighters, adrenaline-packed racers, and quarter-munching classics that kept you gaming past bedtime. This is the Sega Dreamcast, and these are the games that made the late 90s unforgettable. So get your controllers ready, and let's play. Back in 1999, Virtua Fighter was the OG fighting series. The type that made you feel sophisticated while still beating the brakes off your homies. Tekken had flashy combos, Mortal Kombat had fatalities, but Virtua Fighter had that smooth finesse, that seasoned feel that was grown man gaming. Virtua Fighter 3 TV hit the Dreamcast straight from the arcade floor, flexing Sega's Naomi hardware like nothing we'd seen at the crib before. Graphics clean enough to make your cousin say, "Yo, this really a home console?" Gameplay tight enough to silence anybody talking reckless against Sega. You picked your fighter, Kira, Pei, Wolf, whoever, and you had to actually know the moves. Button mashers got exposed quick, left salty on your couch. VF3TB separated the pretenders from the real arcade heads instantly. If you had this game at your spot, trust, your crib turned into an official fight club for the neighborhood. And for the heads wondering what TB stand for, it stood for Team Battle. Sega dropped it so your friends could get this work too. Team style, tag team battles, arcade perfect visuals, deep move sets. VF3TB was Sega reminding everybody that they still had hands. But yo, if Virtua Fighter was for the arcade purists, SoulCalibur was for everybody else, including your little cousin who swore he knew combos but kept spamming one button. When this dropped on Dreamcast, the visuals were so crazy they made the arcade version look outdated overnight. We're talking about crispy textures, fluid animation, and weapon combat that had your crew hype as hell. All the characters became household names. And don't front, everybody had their favorite. People stayed claiming that they had secret moves nobody else knew, but we all knew they were lying. SoulCalibur was the kind of game that turned casuals into hardcore gamers overnight. Easy enough to pick up, but deep enough to put friendships at risk. Sega really dropped this one as a statement. Yeah, we might be losing money, but we're still running the arcade scene. Quick little trivia flex for you. SoulCalibur got perfect 10s almost everywhere, making it one of the highest rated games of all time. Sega had critics eating out of their hand, at least for a minute. But the bottom line was, SoulCalibur wasn't playing games, it was the game.
Marvel vs. Capcom!
Alright, now we're stepping into pure chaos territory. Marvel vs. Capcom was the ultimate mashup. Comic books colliding with Capcom legends. Spider-Man squaring up with Ryu. Wolverine slicing through Chun-Li's kicks. This was the crossover we never knew that we needed until it hit. Dreamcast brought the arcade insanity home perfectly. Visuals popping off the screen, flashy combos lighting up your living room, and special moves that filled up your entire TV. Your mama probably thought something was wrong with the TV with all that flashing, but nah, just Spider-Man catching bodies midair. This wasn't the fighter that you played quietly. This was a shout at the screen, hype your boy up, oh snap, did you see that kind of game. Anybody could pick it up and button mash, but real heads knew the intricacies. Tagging your teammate at the right moment, hitting those hyper combos perfectly. That's what made this game legendary. Quick side note, this was before Marvel ran Hollywood. Back then, seeing your favorite heroes throw down felt genuinely special. We had no idea how big Marvel would get later on. We just knew Capcom nailed it. Marvel vs. Capcom at home meant you officially had the arcade on lock. Alright, now let's talk racing. Sega Rally 2 was that game you threw on when your crew got tired of catching hands but still needed some competition. It wasn't about precision like Gran Turismo. This was pure pedal to the metal madness. Mud flying, engines roaring, your friends talking reckless trying to psych you out, all of that. Dreamcast brought the arcade experience home cleanly too. Tracks looking sharp, cars slid around corners like they were on ice, and the handling hit that perfect sweet spot. Easy to learn but tricky to master. Sega Rally 2 let you drift long before Fast and Furious ever made drifting mainstream. And every race felt like a movie scene. Everybody had their favorite car too. Whether you were Team Subaru or Team Mitsubishi, rivalries got heated. Races often ended with controllers thrown, rematches demanded, and friendships temporarily suspended. But that was exactly why we played it. Little do a lot of people know, Sega Rally 2 was one of the Dreamcast's first online-enabled games, letting players upload lap times and compete worldwide way before online gaming was mainstream. This wasn't simulation racing, it was pure arcade energy, and Sega nailed it again.
Hey, come on over, have some fun with Crazy Taxi!
Alright, now we're getting loud, Crazy Taxi style. This game didn't just let you drive, it let you cause pure chaos, picking up passengers with zero regard for the traffic laws while blasting the Offspring in the background. You pulled up sideways, passengers dived in, and it was go time. Red lights, who cares? Sidewalks, fair game. Jumping off ramps, drifting around buses, weaving through traffic, all to get Becky to KFC in under 20 seconds so you could catch that fat tip. It was energy, pure arcade energy. And let's be real, this game had you and your homies yelling at the screen like it was the playoffs. Take the shortcut, bro. Why you go around the fountain? Hey, hit the ramp. Everybody swore they were the best Crazy Taxi driver until that timer ran out and they got called out with that E-Class license. Humbling, very humbling.
Virtua Tennis.
Alright, let's slow it down just a notch, but keep it competitive with Virtua Tennis. One of the most slept on Dreamcast bangers that low-key turned everybody into tennis fans overnight. You already know, this wasn't for your uncle who actually watches Wimbledon. Nah, this was for you and your homies, talking smack, pulling off impossible volleys and diving for shots like your pride depended on it. And when you lost your match, you instantly hit rematch like it was a fighting game, because it kinda was. Virtua Tennis had clean visuals, tight controls, and gameplay so addictive that it turned into an all-night event. You started learning timing, angles, spin. Then you realize you were getting good. Next thing you know, you're flexing on your boy with a perfect game, and he's plotting revenge for the next hour. And yo, the character roster was fire. Most of us just picked whoever had the cleanest serve and the coldest fit. Virtua Tennis was the game you put on just for a quick match. Then it's 2 a.m., and you're still trying to run it back for one last set. Alright, let's get wild. Power Stone wild. If you had a Dreamcast and Power Stone in '99, your crib was the spot, period. This game wasn't some regular 1v1 fighter. Nah, you threw down in fully 3D arenas, smashing crates, chucking chairs, and dodging rockets, and hunting those glowing Power Stones so you could transform into a super-powered beast and serve everybody a fat L. Word to Wiz Khalifa. Think of it as Smash Brothers' cousin that actually let you move everywhere and break everything in sight. Power Stone was chaos in the best way. Fights would go from easy win to bruh, chill, real quick once somebody powered up. And those transformations, straight disrespectful. You go from throwing hands to dropping laser beams and tornadoes on your boys, and the salt will be in the room, heavy. Power Stone was so clean on Dreamcast that even to this day, people are begging Capcom for a remake. It became one of the system's cult classics, proving that multiplayer brawlers didn't have to stay stuck in 2D. The bottom line, if you know, you know. Power Stone was pure arcade energy, and if you didn't have it, you were missing out on some of the most fun the Dreamcast had to offer. Alright, yo, so there it is. Sega Dreamcast in the 90s wasn't just a console, it was a vibe. From throwing hands in Virtua Fighter 3 TB and SoulCalibur, to chaos in Marvel vs. Capcom, to hitting midnight drifts while racing, and taking your homie's pride in Power Stone, these games kept the arcade alive in your home, even when everything else was starting to fade. So hit that like if you're rocking with the vibe. Drop a comment with your favorite Dreamcast memory or the game you used to run with your crew. And smash that sub so you don't miss part 2 when it drops. Dreamcast might be gone, but the energy, that's forever. And until the next vid, you already know, man. Keep winning.